Welcome to Talking Giants presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Bobby Skinner, here with my co-host, Justin Penik. And it is here. It is the Eagles preview pod. And Justin, we're going to start it off with boo, boo, boo. Get ready to boo your little hearts out against that naive running back over in Philadelphia, right? It's the return of Saquon Barkley to MetLife Stadium. He has went to the enemy Eagles. Don't talk to me about logic or the Giants didn't offer him and all that. It does not matter. We have a player who is very conscious of what people say about him, is hurt by the fact that he's not there. Boo, boo, boo. Get in his head. He'll drop a couple passes. Imagine, like, Saquon might even listen to this episode right now. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, Saquon, you're going to drop a pass. It's going to pop up, and it's going to be an interception for the other team. I'm so excited. I actually think that this is a good matchup, which is crazy to think about. Justin, how freaking are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, throw logic out the window. Throw whether you hate the guy or you used to love the guy. Here's what it boils down to. A Giants player that was significant on our roster for a long time went to our rivals in the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that if you talk to everybody in that parking lot, and if you talk to every Giants fan, the majority of Giants fans, what team do you hate the most? I hate the Philadelphia Eagles the most. So you have a former Giants player that is now on the Eagles and chose to go to Philadelphia. Could have chosen to go anywhere else. And good for Philly that offered him the most money, blah, 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 blah. Again, the logic. Ignore it. Boo Saquon Barkley. Boo a player that is on the Philadelphia Eagles that used to be on the New York Giants. Because odds are, this isn't just a normal player. A normal player that, a player that went from the Giants to the Eagles. This is a player that will listen to it. This is a player that will listen to the outside noise, that does listen to the outside noise, that feels the need to respond to anything that is said outside of the building about him. It will get in his head if the boos are loud enough, and if they're frequent enough, it will get to his head, and that could be a path where the fans could help the Giants win a football game. And again, regardless of how you feel about this team this year, and they're bad, and Andrew Thomas just went down, there's a job to do. I have a job to do when I go to MetLife Stadium this weekend. I have a job to do, and that is to boost Saquon Barkley. Respectfully.
Yeah. Use any advantage you have, because I'm telling you, it will mess with him. I don't think it's going to stop him from being a good running back in this game, but it legitimately can make a difference. He's going to be thinking about every pass that goes his way. I hope they throw the ball to him 10 times, because I know there's going to be at least one drop in there. Justin, before we get into this preview, because we're actually going to talk about more than just, being deranged fans, which we need to be this weekend. This episode is brought to you by some special people. We got Paul Rocha and Kyle Adamonte. Justin, I think the pizza people listened, said, you know what? They called me out. I need to sign up for Patreon. Justin, who are these people?
We always love our favorite pizza people. They're our favorite kind of people. Patreon.com. We love all people. Patreon.com/TalkGiants. $2 a month plus some other tiers. You can hang out with us live while we record the shows. The people on the mailbag got to hear how sad we were about losing Andrew Thomas. It was like losing a loved one. And then, even Sunday, there's a chance that we could, this Eagles team is not good, man. Eagles team is not good. The Giants aren't good, but the Giants are also a very fluky team. We know that. So patreon.com/TalkGiants. Maybe there's a chance that we have a victory Monday and the Giants are going to creep their way back to 500 against the Eagles this Sunday. So you're going to want to be there with us while we record the shows live. Bobby send you some stickers in the mail, plus there's some shirt raffles too. Patreon.com/TalkGiants. Thanks to our patrons. We love you.
We love you very much. You'll be glad you did. I want to start with the Eagles offense, because I think there really is some good matchups in this game. Their offense is 18th in points per game, 11th in EPA per play. They're 14th in passing yards per game, 13th in yards per attempt. They're 6th in rushing yards per game, 5th in success rate. And because it's a Saquon Barkley game, I want to talk about their running, because that is ultimately how they can just not have just a game where they outscore the Giants, but where they can have a really good offensive game. It is through the ground, right? I just mentioned they're 6th in running, 5th in success rate. Saquon is having career highs in yards per game, yards per carry, and success rate, and that's because that offensive line is good. They are a good run blocking unit, flat out. And even you look at Saquon's last 2 games, they haven't been the best. And it's, inflated by, he had a 59-yard rush versus the Bucs. Outside of that, he has 27 carries for 72 yards, which is bad. But Like they're still third in success rate over the last, 3 weeks, aka two games for them in that period of time. They are multiple in the way they can run the ball. So no matter if it's a stack box, light box, they can run different concepts at you. Jalen Hurts is obviously a big part of their rushing attack in multiple ways. The tush push is still alive despite week 1. This is my biggest worry going into this game, is that the Eagles, because one, is the Saquon Barkley revenge game, and this is their best. I think this is the best part about their team, is running the ball. This is my worry, because the Giants, we talked about on our mailbag pod, if there's anything I'm worried about of not being able to sustain the defensive success they've had recently, is their last 4 opponents have been 26 or worse in rushing attempts and yards. They're 4 teams that don't like rushing the ball and are bad at it when they do. And that's not the Philadelphia Eagles at all.
No, and we've talked about how the Giants play from light boxes. Actually, according to Next Gen, which isn't always fully accurate because you're playing the boxes that you're playing with is corresponded to the formations that you're seeing. But regardless, it's just good context to know the Giants are playing with a stacked box at only 9% of the time. That's the 4th least in the NFL. The Chargers, the Bills, the Titans, and the Giants are the top 4 teams in the NFL that stack the box at the lowest rate of time. I had a piece of beard in my face from what we did in the warehouse today. So that's my worry, is that if the Giants are just going to all right, well, we're going to play from these light boxes because we want to either help out the secondary or we want to always be running our nickel. I'm worried about the Eagles being the first opponent since the Washington Commanders, basically.
Yep.
That they're gonna commit to running the ball, and it's not just because it's a Saquon Barkley revenge game. It's because Saquon Barkley is a good player. They have an offensive line that can lean on teams, and that should be the identity of this Eagles team. It's the strength of their team right now when it is all going right. Now here's my question: Do you think if you're Shane Bowen and you're prepping for this Eagles defense and you see like 9% of the time we're stacking boxes, do you think that has to change this week? And also, how does that change for the Giants? If they want to stack the box more, is it Drew Phillips or Nick McLeod that kind of moves inside the box? Is it putting Isaiah Simmons also out on the field and having those 3 interior linebackers? You're running out of base, and maybe you're putting another interior defensive lineman on the field. How does that work for you? What are you thinking?
Well, one, I don't think they should stack the box. One, because of their passing options on the outside and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And I know that Shane Bowen's not going to, and I kind of agree. It really relies on the 6 guys up front, or your 4 guys up front, your 2 backers, and then Drew Phillips. The nickel corner is extremely important in this run defense. He needs to play really well, right? And I think they're going to be aggressive with him, having blitzing quite a bit because of some of the passing issues. But I don't think the answer to beating the Eagles is simply stacking the box, because I think they do good against that. So what the Giants should do is play the way they do, and you got to throw different looks at them and just hope for mistakes. And then the guys up front, like Dexter Lawrence, be a beast in the run game. Don't let them handle you on double teams. When you have a single block win, create negative rushes, right? Whether you're blitzing Drew Phillips off the edge, create negative rushes, make running the ball a little uncomfortable for them. Because I think if you stack the box, it actually plays into it a little bit, because then it's just like, all right, well, we know where our blocking assignments are, and we're going to be better than you most of the time. So I don't think that's an answer to just beating the run, but just make the run a little uncomfortable. Create some negative runs by slanting your edges in, and bringing the DBs down. Rolling Tyler Nubin down a few times. Those are the way, in my opinion. But at the same time, they still might just have a really good rushing attempt. Yeah,
that's a dangerous game. I think that's a dangerous game to play.
Here's what I think is more dangerous, though. Is I think the Giants, because their passing offense and our passing defense, because their running game's good. It's the NFL. They're gonna throw the ball, obviously, unless they, go, Patriots in the Buffalo Blizzard. I do think there's some chance, you can make some game-changing plays. Jordan Mailata is probably not out, or is probably out, and Fred Johnson's gonna be at left tackle to him. He is the key to winning this game. That player right there, number 74 on the Philadelphia Eagles, Fred Johnson, who will be at left tackle for them, is an awful football player. And Hurts really struggles when his offensive tackles are getting collapsed, and then you have the opportunity for quick wins and sacks and then strip sacks. Fred Johnson has the worst pass blocking production in the NFL this year. And we've seen, because Malata's been healthy over the last couple of years, when Lane Johnson's been out, that Hurts has been a totally different quarterback when Lane Johnson is out. Well, now it's the blind side. He'll have Lane Johnson, but he'll have the blind side not taken care of in Jordan Malata. You have to attack Fred Johnson. I want Brian Burns on him as much as possible. And Brian Burns, go out and win a game. Brian Burns had a good game last week. We could talk about, is he consistent, blah, 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 all that. Go win this game. You have a bad left tackle. I think that we'll talk about all the different things, the way you cover A.J. Brown and all that. That matchup has to be dominated. If we come away from this game and Fred Johnson is not the most hated player on the Philadelphia Eagles by his own fan base after this game, then it's a disappointment.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think that this is a game for me, Bobby. The Giants, they have to win. And again, this is going to be like a no shit Sherlock type of talking point, but it makes sense in the context of who the Philadelphia Eagles are. The Philadelphia Eagles actually on first and second down, I know they have the tush push on third down that they can go to, and that's very successful, very high success rate. But first and second down, they're seventh in the NFL in offensive EPA per play. They've been throwing the ball, quite well, and then I think they run the ball quite well on early downs too. But actually late downs, and this includes all the tush-push success that they have, they're 23rd in EPA per play, and if you just look at their overall conversion rate, they're 18th in third down conversion rate on offense, and then they're even worse inside the red zone. They have a 25th ranked red zone offense as well. The Giants have to win this game on first and second down, because third down is the down where if it's third and short, the Eagles are going to convert because they're going to have the tush push. They're either going to have one opportunity at it or two opportunities at it because Nick Sirianni loves to go for it on fourth down. If it's a 4th and 1 and a 4th and 2, odds are, I don't know where they are on the field, they're going to stay there. They're going to keep their offense out there because they're going to go for it. So you need to have 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 plus consistently. And the Giants' recipe for success the last couple weeks has been exactly that. The Seahawks, you get them into 3rd and long, and then that pass rush is able to tee off, and they get 7 sacks. And same thing on Joe Burrow. Get him into some 3rd and longs, and the pass rush is able to tee off. You run some stunts up front, and some guys have some success there. So they have to avoid 3rd and short because they will push their way to success. And I don't think the Eagles' offense, even in themselves right now, I don't even think they should be confident throwing the ball on 3rd and long, especially against this Giants pass rush.
Yeah, so you have to beat Fred Johnson. That's the key. And then with the other part of the pass rush group is their interior offensive line isn't top notch like it's been in past years. But they're all right. You need Dexter Lawrence to get wins against Cam Jurgens, right? Dexter Lawrence, no excuses of double teams. Go out there and whip their ass. If you're getting double teamed, that means everyone else needs to be winning. And they're good at picking up stunts, which the Giants have, used to a lot of success. This would be a game where I'd be a little more disciplined in my rush and not do so many stunts, and just throw DB blitzes at them because that's what gives them issues, right? They're bad at IDing and picking those types of things up because even you send a nickel blitz at Lane Johnson will pick it up, but when you blitz that corner, the defensive end slants in and Mekhi Becton's not ready for it mentally. So those are the types of rushes. Stay disciplined because we've seen the way Geno Smith and Joe Burrow have been able to run. Obviously, that's going to be more of a focus in this game when you're playing Jalen Hurts, and that's a big part of it. But stay disciplined and throw DB blitzes at them. And we know when Shane Bowen does like to blitz, that's what he likes to do. He's not just line them all up, send a couple. He is disguise, send your nickel corner. So if disguised or not, send those types of blitzes, stay disciplined, and beat Dexter Lawrence. Win whoever is lined up on Fred Johnson. Win every single snap. And that's the way up front. On the back end, Justin.
Yeah, what's the approach to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? What's your DB approach?
They're going to double team A.J. Brown. That's what Shane Bowen does, and that's what they should do. And Hurts struggles against the zones that start in too deep. But Bowen runs them less than 25% of the time, those types of coverages. So maybe lean into that a little more. If there's an adjustment for this game that Bowen can make, it's that. It's run a little more cover 4, cover 6, cover 2, those starting from 2 deep safeties and staying there. What Shane Bowen does is he likes to rotate the safety down and play, man coverage and then cover 3. So just keep both of those safeties deep because that's where Hurts really struggles. And 3 of Hurts' 4 interceptions have been the safeties, but that's where he doesn't see the field well. And that's also the way to bracket A.J. Brown because A.J. Brown is a beast. And no matter how well, the issue is like no matter how well you can get sacks, you can have all this stuff, the Eagles can still throw the ball up to A.J. Brown and he will win. He's only played 2 games this year, 117 yards per game. Over a fifth of his targets are 20-plus yards, and he brings them. Like, he is, like, Hurts' safety blanket in this offense isn't throwing the ball to a check down. It is throwing the ball deep to A.J. Brown. Like, I got one-on-one with A.J. Brown. Throw the ball up to him because he'll go up and make that play. So you're going to have to double-team A.J. Brown. I think Smith is a little more hard to, shut down in a sense because he's not the threat that you double-team over the top, and he can win in every area. And so can A.J. Brown. But A.J. Brown is that easy button, throwing the ball deep. He's only played 2 games. They're 2-0 in those games, and he has 120 yards per game. And it's basically going to be a 2-man show in the passing offense. They have shown historically that they really only throw to 3 guys. It's A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert is likely out in this game. And again, historically, when Goedert's out, they don't try and replace tight end production in those games. So, they'll have Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stahl, who the Giants cut in training camp.
With Britton Covey out there, who's like their slot, right?
Yeah, and but Britton Covey barely gets anything.
Yeah, 7
Jahan Dotson pairs. It's going to be AJ, and you'll get a few checkdowns to Saquon, but Saquon's only, I think his highest receiving game this year is 32 yards, so he's not going to be much involved, even though they might do some things with him in this game because of the matchup. It's to stop A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in the passing game because they're not gonna. Jalen Hurts is not gonna go to the other guys. With Devontae Smith, I don't know how you just stop Devontae Smith, but what you should do is stop him from taking shallow crosses for touchdowns. That's happened twice this year where he takes a drag route and then yaks it for a touchdown, where they just try and operate the middle, occupy the middle of the field, check it down, or not even check it down to Smith, but throw it short to Smith. And then he goes for a long game. But their passing game truly is going to be a 2-man show. No one else is going to produce for them. They've, Hurts has shown that historically. Yeah.
So is it a similar approach to Cordell Flott which we've seen this before, by the way, with Mike Martindale. He's put Cordell Flott on A.J. Brown, and it's actually hasn't looked like a disaster. So Cordell Flott on A.J. Brown with some safety help, and then Deonte Banks, gear up, man. I am worried about Deonte Banks and Deonte Banks versus Devontae Smith in terms of after the catch, because Deonte Banks is not the best tackler. That is something I am worried about. Is that also the same approach as last week?
Whoever's matched up on Smith, I'm worried about. But it will be interesting to see if they do it. Now, Banks is a little better versus the bigger receivers, which is T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, So it'll be interesting to see because they've doubled wide receivers a lot this year. Last week was the first week where they just, hey, Cordell Flott, you're going to cover the best guy with double team help, and then we're going to trust Banks on the other guy. So I don't know how they're going to approach that. My guess is they would like to have Banks because Brown is the bigger player, but Brown can still bully Banks at the catch point. We've seen Flott have a little bit of random success against Brown in the past. I don't know, to be honest, how they'll approach that, and I don't really have a preference, but I just know you can't let A.J. Brown get one-on-one coverage on the sideline.
No, you cannot.
Because he will win that way. Yep. But it's going to be a 2-man show. Justin, why don't you talk to us about something before we talk about the Giants' offense?
Yeah, I don't even have anything pulled up. I don't even have anything
prepped.
I don't either. Totally forgot that we have to talk about something because we have to talk about something every single episode. And that's first thing I'm going to talk to you about is Chris Gates Fitness. Boom. I'm talking to you about fitness. That's right. And today's episode is brought to you by Chris Gates Fitness. It's an online fitness monthly membership. Chris Gates is the coach, and he's a massive football guy. He's a massive sports fan. It's a program and community designed for sports fans. Yes.
Speaking of Gates, this is a Nick Gates revenge game, too.
Oh, wow. You think they're related?
No.
Any relation? No, but Chris Gates is a good dude. Members get a new workout program every month so you can build muscle, burn fat, and feel healthier and more athletic. 2025, it is going to be the year of Justin getting athletic. You watch. Combine, I'm going to dominate it. In the training camp community, we'll have challenges every month with prizes like, I love training camp. I'm wearing my training camp fights or fun shirt. Awarded like home gym equipment, supplements, free coaching calls, and more. You'll get tons of support through live Q&As with Chris and the community, learning modules that teach you diet and exercise, and hundreds of videos, tutorials. So listeners, you can use the promo code GIANTS to get 80% off your first month of training camp, or $10. After the discounted first month, the price will go to $50 for each subsequent month. There's no long-term commitment. You can sign up / cancel at any time. Head to the link in the description to learn more. Thank you, Chris Gates Fitness. Bobby Skinner, you'll be glad you did.
You'll be glad you did. Commanders fans have hijacked the Pepsi Rookie of the Week this year, Justin.
It's sad.
Jaden Daniels wins it every single week, and it's a voting process, and like it's kind of funny by them, I got to be honest, but it is frustrating this like no one can win a Pepsi Rookie of the Week if Jaden Daniels is nominated, because they're going to vote for him every single week.
But we have great news. Why we bring up the Pepsi Rookie of the Week is hopefully Malik Neighbors will be making his return, and that's super fun.
Yes, Malik Neighbors should be making his return. Andrew Thomas will not. Justin, the Eagles defense, they're 14th in points per game, 25th in EPA per play. They're 21st in passing, 22nd in passing yards per attempt, 16th in rushing, and 26th in yards per carry. So they're awful in all these categories. Their points per game is actually their best because they're 6th in red zone percentage. I kind of love this matchup for the Giants offense. I think they play into what they allow is what the Giants and Daniel Jones does well. And if they try and change it up and get a little more aggressive, then Malik Neighbors is back, and I trust Malik Neighbors against any of their DBs. I know we don't have Andrew Thomas, but their edge group doesn't scare me. I kind of like this matchup offensively.
Like what player is playing like well from them in terms of like it's making like a real
Jalen Carter.
A real difference. I guess he's doing all right in the pressure department. He just doesn't have
some
all
of their
the sacks.
games they've won have been because of Jalen. Like they've won the Saints game because of Jalen Carter.
So this is a defense that has names, or is supposed to have names, and they're just not stepping up to the plate like at least I thought that they would. You know?
Yeah, it's just Bryce Huff has been a zero for them. Nolan Smith, any type of growth from him is not happening. Like Josh Sweat's their best edge rusher, but I think Brandon Graham's their second best, and I don't think he's far off from Josh Sweat. It's like they tried to revamp this group, and Brandon Graham is still there, still the best, but they rotate all those guys evenly. So, but like up front, it's basically don't let Jalen Carter be a wrecking ball, right? Because they only have 11 sacks in 5 games, so like even they don't blitz much.
Yeah. One of the NFL's lowest.
Yeah, and they have one of the lowest pressure percentages. They don't get sacks. It's basically don't let Jalen Carter ruin it. And so I don't know who they're going to play at left tackle. It seems like it's going to be a Zudu, but
it's going to be a Zudu.
Well, on Thursday, Brian Dable said in his Thursday press conference that they worked Illuminor out there a little bit, and that they play mix and match. But it does seem like it's going to be a Zudu.
Here's something crazy.
You just got to protect him.
Here's something crazy. Ready? Do you think they would do a rotation?
No.
Like if Jermaine at right tackle some drives, and then Jermaine at left tackle, and then Neil at right tackle, and then
if it's a disaster, I can see them switching it in game, but I don't see that. You just got to protect the Zudu. And I know Neil has been a talking point. I've never seen the word "if" used so many times on Giants Twitter, Justin. I thought about getting annoyed and tweeting something, but I was like, you know what? Let people have this fantasy that Evan Neal's all of a sudden good, even though the Giants won't.
That was the second what if this week. Did you see the chaos that Ethan caused with Matt Stafford? It was very well done by him.
I love everyone pretending like, where is this coming from? It's like it's coming from Ethan. It's
coming from Ethan.
You're looking to get quote tweeted by Ethan.
He devised the plan himself.
It's honestly not the worst idea in the world either. But I've never seen. I've never seen the word "if" used so much when it came to Evan Neal. Like if it's like, did we like what? Like, and here's something too, Justin, because I was like, I think Jermaine Illuminor should play at left tackle, even though I think they can get through this game with a Zudo at left tackle. So I trust Carmen Brasillo. It's like that's sick, but you know what you guys told us, in July when we're like, they should not just have this plan of Evan Neal being the starting right tackle and moving else around it for that. You said you trust Carmen Brasillo. And if it wasn't for Evan Neal's injury, they would have went through camp with Jermaine Illuminor at left guard, John Runyon at right guard, not signing Greg Van Roten, and having Evan Neal at right tackle.
Right.
No, they don't get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to their personnel. But I do think they can get through this game with Ezeudu. Ezeudu is not a disaster every play type of tackle the way that Evan Neal is, where Evan Neal is just like bad on a down, snap in, you snap out because Ezeudu's got quick feet. It's just Ezeudu leads to disaster plays, right? And so you've got to protect him to avoid those disaster plays, which sucks, right? It sucks to be like, hey, we got to keep a tight end here or give extra help with the back. And I think the real way is to help with the tight end. I think when you trust the running back, you can put yourself in bad situations there because they mess up sometimes their chips will lead to a quarterback hit.
And one more thing on Neal. I've seen a lot of people say, and I'm sure there's a lot of people even at home that aren't on Twitter talking about.
I get it, man. You just got to give up.
Well, Evan Neal was best in college at left tackle. Now, I don't understand the thought process of right tackle is legitimately a harder position to play at. That Evan Neal has had 2 full years, besides injuries, but 2 full years to fully get ready for it and play well at, and he hasn't played well. And now the thought process, let's snap our fingers and put him at left tackle because he played supposedly better there at Alabama when left tackle's much harder and you're on an island as a left tackle versus a right tackle. I'm sorry, that talking point, I'm sorry, if a lot of people think it. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Here's the thing, Justin, I get it. We drafted him 7th overall. Me and you loved him. And it's like,
everybody loved him.
Is there a good player still there, right? But you just have to give it up. Yeah. And like, the left tackle thing is like, one, I've seen a lot of people say he played there all throughout college. No, he didn't. He was projected to be the 1st overall pick before he ever took a snap at left tackle. Like Evan Neal is just bad. That's the way it is. It's unfortunate. You need to
go learn how to play guard this offseason. That's the priority for Evan Neal.
I don't have any trust that he's going to do it well, but yeah, do that. But it's just it's not going to happen. But you got, anyways, long story short, you got to protect Ezeudu. You've got to protect Ezeudu in this. And then like the passing, like their coverages, Vic Fangio likes to start in 2 high coverages, but he rotates down majority of the time in the zones. They actually play a decent amount of man coverage. The flats, Justin, they're just open all the damn time. Like any type of spacing concept leaves the flats open. They play with a lot of cushion. Like I feel like this defense plays into what Daniel Jones likes to do, which is throw the ball short.
Yeah.
Like throw the ball quick and short. They play into that. And if you said you asked me before the show, what if they adjust like the way Lou Anarumo does?
That's my worry.
Here's the counter though, is that none of their corners can cover Malik Neighbors. And Daniel Jones will fire that shit in there to Malik Neighbors versus man coverage. So if they get aggressive on that, then we just throw the ball to Malik Neighbors. And I think Wan'Dale Robinson will win in man coverage versus their nickel defender. Darius Slayton will win against Darius Slay. If they got Kenyon Mitchell has been pretty decent this year, not spectacular, but it has had a good rookie season. If Slayton's going against Mitchell, I'm not firing it in there consistently. But that's what Malik Neighbors wins everywhere, right? And if you want to throw over the middle of the field, throw past Nakobe Dean's shoulders. He's been really bad in coverage this year and man coverage. If you attack vertically, they will play so off, and you can convert those into curl routes to Malik Neighbors and Darius Slayton, which the Giants have had a lot of success with this year. They leave the checkdowns open, and they don't get interceptions either. So it's not like they make you pay. I like this matchup as much as I could a matchup with the Giants having Andrew Thomas out.
We have some beat reporter tweets. Dable said Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns won't practice today. They're going to
play though.
Both said they plan to play on Sunday, but obviously more than just a rest day. Dory Jackson, neck injury. He won't practice today. Meanwhile, Malik Neighbors will be a full participant today. The final step to getting cleared from the concussion protocol. Boom, Malik Neighbors, full participant. There you go. Breaking news here.
Neighbors is playing. Malik Neighbors is playing.
But like you said, if they do leave cushion, and if Vic Fangio wants to play that, hey, we're gonna keep everything in front of his defense, I think that allows the screen game that the Giants have been running very well to open up. If you want to have Theo Johnson, if Theo Johnson is going to be helping out Daniel Bellinger, or is going to be helping out Josh Azuto at the left tackle, then I think we can run some screens to him where it's like, hey, we're pushing that edge rusher. We're helping out Josh Azuto to hold down his guy, and then we can detach from that, and Daniel Jones can dump off the ball if they're playing with cushion. But my inevitable worry, is that Vic Fangio is going to look at what Lou Anarumo did and be like, hey, even though this isn't our typical defense, we're going to force the Giants to try and throw the ball down the field or even force it to Malik Neighbors, like Bobby said. We're going to stack the box, and we're not going to allow them to run the ball. The Giants have not been able to run the ball against stacked boxes this year. But if the Eagles are kind of dumb, and if they play from light boxes and they just run their typical defense, then the Giants' offense, I feel like they can have success. But Malik Neighbors makes such a difference, regardless of whether it's a heavy box, a light box, whatever.
Yeah, so it's like they play from the light boxes, they're two high safeties, not a lot of people in the box. Then that plays in the Daniel Jones passing strength, which is a quick game and all that, and allows the Giants to run the ball, which is where they've been their best. And I think the Giants can absolutely win that matchup this week, as long as Jalen Carter's just not like splitting double teams like a madman, which he's capable of doing. But Jalen Carter hasn't been great as a run defender. It's almost like an effort thing with him. So it plays, and if they stack the box, the Giants have this Malik Neighbors guy, who you can go there, and that's where it's like this can be a little bit of a Malik Neighbors or bust type of offense if he's healthy. Like he is a difference maker, and they were missing him last week. Like you can make the argument that having Malik Neighbors last week makes the difference, but he wasn't there. They lose the game. He's here this week. Make a difference. You were drafted 6th overall to make that type of difference. Even when you're wrong, he makes you right type of player. So Malik Neighbors, like there's a lot of weight being put on your shoulders. Glad you're back. Now let's go out there and play. With the rushing offense, who do you expect to get more carries, Devin Singletary or Tyrone Tracy? Yeah, and I think this is a game that plays to a strength because you can get outside the tackles a little bit. We've seen Tracy run those duo runs so well if they play from light boxes. Their DBs don't tackle well, and the edges aren't good at playing the run outside of Brandon Graham. Like I agree. Like this is a game where it's a little bit matchup based, but I think I'd rather have Tracy. But I still think Singletary deserves to get carries too. Just don't fumble the ball and have us saying what if. That's my big thing for Devin Singletary. All right, Justin, we're gonna bring Jolly Olive on for segments, but before that, I want to thank so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Baseball season's in full swing. That's why I got my mustache for the Yankees. NFL season is around the corner, and SeatGeek is the best place to buy tickets. They rate every ticket on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know if you're getting a good deal. And they know people like kind of have their NFL tickets and stuff like that. But baseballs, I feel like this is the best place for it. But it's also great for football too. But I just know a lot of people kind of have their tickets. But if you don't use this, look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. I used it last year, Justin, for that Patriots game. I got great tickets for a great price. It's the lowest I ever sat in an NFL game. And right now, you can use code GIANTS10 for 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not. So buy your tickets and boo the life out of Saquon Barkley. You want to know how I know that Saquon Barkley's bothered by the boos, Justin? That within 20 minutes of me tweeting about, because Saquon Barkley had the quote, like, maybe I'm naive, but I think it's over. They're not going to boo me. Like, yeah, we're going to boo the life out. Within 20 minutes, Saquon's cronies were in my mentions being like, you guys boo your own players. No matter how many times you bought tickets using SeatGeek before, Giants 10 is going to get you 10% off your next order. That's such a key component in this. Like, it's not the first time order. Like, put it in, whip out your phone and put it in there now. So again, take out your phone, open the SeatGeek app, and go add code GIANTS10 to your account. What are you waiting for? Do it now, because this offer is only available for a limited time. Code GIANTS10 for 10% off your next order. You'll be glad you did. All right, we now welcome on Jolly Olive, our weatherman. Jolly, what's the weather looking like for Sunday at MetLife Stadium? What's the weather looking like?
I just want to address last week. Got it wrong. My research team failed me. The people that I depend on, they're all fired for telling me that it was going to rain at MetLife.
We almost fired you.
I mean, I'm the face of the team, so I hold myself responsible, but they're all gone. Like, they're unemployed now. We got new people in order. And this Sunday, no rain. Justin Penik and Bobby Skinner, no rain. It's going to be mid-70s, sunny, clear skies, maybe a little bit of wind, but it's going to be a nice day for football.
Mid-70s? It's cold as hell this week in Jersey.
I got mid-70s. With wind. With wind.
That's hot.
I don't know if that's hot.
Mid-70s is hot, bro.
No.
That is pretty hot for this time of year. It's not hot, but it is hot for this time of year.
70s in October is kind of normal now in the Northeast.
Yeah, well, that's a different conversation.
Very excited to boo Saquon Barkley. Justin, do you think the Mets will be eliminated by the time this game plays?
Be careful.
No.
What time do they play on Sunday? Or do they play on Saturday?
No, they have off on Saturday. On Sunday, I believe it's like a 4 o'clock game.
Okay, so they won't be eliminated at that point. How's the Mets? How's Shea Station been doing?
Shea's doing great. We just passed 10K subs, which is pretty neat. We've been working for that for a while, so things are good.
We'll be recapping Game 4, so go check that out. What do we got for trivia this week?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Bobby. We got a very simple one question, one answer type thing. I'm going to have you guys text me your answers again. For those who don't know, we have a running standing of trivia. It's tied 8-8 right now between Bobby and Justin. The person with the most points at the end of the season will get a jersey of their choosing, courtesy of me. Here is your question, folks. The 2007 Giants were the last team to win both of their games against the Eagles in a single season. There was one skill position player who scored a touchdown in both of those games. Who was that player?
All right, I'm texting you right now.
2007.
Yes.
I could maybe tell you 2006, but I don't know about 2007.
That's simply just not the question.
I know. Because Plax had the multi-touchdown game in 06. That was a big comeback.
Yeah, that was a comeback game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about 07.
I just texted Jolly.
Okay. I have Bobby's answer.
I have a bad guess.
Okay.
No, I'm not going with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I already sent it. Justin, who are you guessing? Because I already sent my answer to Jolly.
I'll just say Amani Toomer and know that it's wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it's I guess Plax, because Plax always had great games versus the Eagles.
Penik, you should have kept it simple. You mentioned Plaxico. That was the correct answer.
Shit.
Plaxico Burress got a receiving touchdown in both those games, so that's a point for Bobby. He assumes the lead in trivia this year, 9-8, and that was trivia.
06 to 07 Plax run is awesome.
I did have a thought about trivia this week when
Yeah.
I was putting together the rundown, and I was like, I bet you it's going to be Plaxico Burress is going to be the answer because of all the great Plaxico Burress games against the Eagles. So how about that?
He's my first favorite player.
How about that? Did you have a red jersey of him?
I
Everyone
did.
who was cool. You really did?
Yeah, I did. That was my first Giants jersey. It's crazy that you called that. I had a red Plaxico and a blue Shockey jersey.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's if you got a red jersey, it had to be a Plaxico jersey. I remember people that worked at my school would wear red Plaxico jerseys. All right, let's get into our fantasy draft where we pick players from our team and the team the Giants are playing. I'll be picking first, and I am in first with 251 points after another 30-plus point outing. Justin had a great outing last week in second place, 49.3 points. I didn't look up if that was the highest scoring week of the year. He's 24 points behind. And Jolly's fallen off. He had an awful performance with 21.8 points. He's over 55 points back. So maybe you should start subscribing to the Big Board Jolly. Justin, Jolly, I have the first pick, and I'm going with my heart. Because I have so much hate in my heart for this game. My heart is full of hate against the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's no way I'm picking the Eagles first in this game. And I have Malik Neighbors available. Malik Neighbors, big money, huge game. Maybe catch a game-winning touchdown. I don't know. I got Malik Neighbors going 1-1. Justin, who do you got with pick 2?
I will be doing something that the Giants should not have done in April of 2018.
No,
I will be drafting.
That's disgusting. I thought he might last to the third round because of all the hate in our heart.
No, I want to win a championship. I want to win a fantasy championship.
This isn't even the best pick.
Where is he on your big board?
3.
Devontae Smith or AJ
But I
Brown
wouldn't
is
have
number
picked
2.
him.
Well, you already made your pick.
I mean, I did. No, it is my pick. I'm doing something that the Giants should not have done in April of 2018, and I will be drafting Saquon Barkley.
There you go. In that case, I'm just going to take a pair of Eagles wideouts, give me A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
All right, so you probably might have a good game. But, hey, the Giants have done a good job of limiting Lascivas. I I might have not taken, like, if you guys left Saquon Barkley there for the last pick, even though I did put him on the big board, I may have not taken it. Like, I understand the Giants didn't really offer him. He had, go where the money is as an athlete, but I still have so much hate in my heart. Justin, who are you taking with your second pick?
Safe pick, low ceiling, but low floor, but high ceiling. Nope, that's the other way around.
Wrong. High ceiling, low floor.
No, he just said the same thing. High floor, low ceiling.
Oh my god, I did the same thing. Yeah, high floor, but his ceiling isn't that low either.
No, it's not that low.
Do you know who I'm taking?
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, I'm taking Wan'Dale Robinson. All right, move on. Get away from me.
It's not just us, but like Wan'Dale Robinson is known as like the PPR scam in fantasy football this year.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a running back who gets like 6 catches per game for like 28 yards. This year it's like, Wan'Dale Robinson's a PPR scam. All right, so I have back-to-back picks here, which is tough. Because I don't trust anybody else. So the thing is, I don't know who's going to get more carries for the Giants running back spot. And then it's like, do I take a receiver who may not get a lot of production in this game? I'm going to go back-to-back. I'm going to go Tyrone Tracy with my second pick. And just in case he's still injured. I'm going to go Devin Singletary.
Oh.
With my third pick. I'm going 2 back. Right? That's the best. That's a good team building process. Shout out 2018 NFL Draft. I'm going with the 2 back approach. Because here's the thing. We talked about in the beginning of the show, Justin. The Eagles are Brown, Smith, or Goddard or bust, and Goddard's not playing. Funny story. Sucker punched him, South Dakota. And I don't trust Slayton to get targets in this game now that Malik Neighbors is back. So I'm going to go Tracy and Singletary.
Oh, but I just love that you still left Darius Slayton for me at this slot.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Slayton, before Malik Neighbors got injured, was getting like 1-2 catches in a game.
I understand that, but I'd rather have somebody who he's going to be on the field for the majority of the snaps versus you.
Yeah.
You took running backs. I guess you're going to get.
Here's the thing is,
you're going to get all the production though.
I can't afford the bust of I can't afford to take the wrong running back and then Darius Slayton with 2 catches for 18 yards.
All right. Well, I'm taking Darius Slayton. I'm taking Darius Slayton, and I feel pretty good about the value that I'm getting here.
Yeah, it's decent value. It's just pre-Malik Neighbors, he wasn't getting much. Because I have Malik Neighbors, I have to take a safer approach. I can take the safe approach, like, all right, I'm getting all of the Giants' carries.
And I see Jolly is next to me, frantically searching up the rest of the Eagles roster to figure out.
Yeah, this is where the big board comes in play, so you don't panic.
Who catches footballs for the Philadelphia Eagles besides Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown? And the answer is nobody.
First of all, what I was doing is confirming that Dallas Goedert was out.
Yes.
Which is looking to be confirmed.
Sucker punched his bitch ass.
Yeah, it was because of you, right, Bobby? I mean, I got some production out of Hyatt last week, guys. We got a catch. We got a point, so.
Is there again?
No, I'll take... this is tough because Gainwell has not really been factored into their game plan at all. Bobby was really smart to take both the running backs. I was hoping one would fall to me. Kind of in a tough spot here. Okay. I think I might just take every Eagles passing option. I mean, I know I have the 2 major ones, but if anything goes to Dotson or Calcaterra, I could just snatch that up too. And
Gainwell's an option too as the second.
Gainwell hasn't really been factored in though.
What if Saquon gets hurt though? That'd be a real shame.
That'd be a shame.
Definitely don't hope that doesn't happen.
All right, I'll take Grant Calcaterra with the 3rd round.
Where do you go to school?
That's the good pick.
You think I know?
SMU.
Okay.
SMU.
And
we covered him.
Do I just rock out with Theo? I don't want to take Hyatt from the meme again. I think I'm over it.
Hyatt, you can't take Hyatt, especially with Malik Neighbors back.
He just made me mad last week.
He sucks. Anyways.
And that was technically his best week.
It sucks.
I'll take Theo Johnson. I'll give you the 2 tight ends.
All right, you went according to the Bobby Big Board, so smart.
Woo-hoo!
Even though it's the weakest I've ever felt about the last 4 picks on the big board. Though, so.
That's tough.
All right, Justin, your last pick.
I'll do the Eagles starting tight end, Grant Calcaterra.
He just took Grant Calcaterra.
Can you wake up and lock in, please?
Then I'll take Kenny Gainwell.
Thank you. Jesus.
Sorry.
You don't even listen to me when I talk, do you?
Should I take Eric Gray and just take all 3 of the Giants running backs?
Yep. you get all the screens.
No, I'm going to get Jahan Dotson
Oh, boo.
Starting receiver, taken with the last pick. All right, so to recap, I have Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, and Jahan Dotson. Justin has Saquon, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Kenny Gainwell.
Kenny Galladay?
Dude, seeing Saquon Barkley on this thing for the first time this year and like, oh, he's on the other team is kind of crazy. And then Jolly has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Grant Calcaterra, and then Theo Johnson. All right, it's time for Giant Factors. I'm up first this week, and I'm going it for a star player. Because if you're going to be a star player, you should dominate this game. Like a third of your pass rush production should come this week against Fred Johnson. Again, awful player. They are starting an awful player at left tackle. Like he's just bad. There's nothing good about his game. The fact that the Eagles have this guy as their swing tackle is malpractice on their part. Brian Burns, make a name for you, right? There's also going to be, like, if you want to win this game, then, Joe Shane should be wanting Brian Burns to win this game because you let Saquon Barkley walk, you get Brian Burns, right? So all those moves go a little bit hand in hand. Brian Burns, beat his ass every single snap because there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Get a strip sack against Jalen Hurts, get a regular sack, force some fumbles, make some big bone-crushing hits. Brian Burns, be not just a giant factor, be a gigantic factor. Be a Nephilim factor. Like, big as shit factor. Brian Burns, be a giant factor.
Never heard of that word before.
It's crazy.
Nephilim?
Yeah,
it's
never
biblical.
heard of it.
It's biblical. From Genesis, bro.
I got to reread. My giant factor.
First book there.
My giant factor, I decided 20 seconds ago.
Don't take mine.
Tyrone Tracy.
Cool.
Cool.
That was mine last week.
Good job.
Let's go.
Tyrone Tracy, you're my giant factor this week. I think it's quite obvious as to why. Tyrone Tracy's odds are is the Giants RB1 now, and you're facing off against the old Giants RB1. If Tyrone Tracy has a better game than Saquon Barkley, that's a big if. That's a very big if. But that would be quite funny. And we would come in here during a Giants victory and be like, oh, well, Tyrone Tracy had 27 more rushing yards. Tyrone Tracy, 112 rushing yards to Saquon Barkley's 81. Does the math work out on that?
Yeah.
Yep. Tyrone Tracy, go out there, be a giant factor. Be a better running back than Saquon Barkley this weekend, which is a lofty goal. But hey, that'd be pretty cool if we're talking about that on Sunday night.
Our fan base will be so insufferable if the Giants win and Tyrone Tracy has more yards than Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Like, it's, how like other fans like oh, you're treating this game like the Super Bowl. Yeah. Yes, we are. Okay, Andrew Thomas is out for the year. If we win this game and shit like that happens, it will be our Super Bowl. So go out there and win this damn game. Jolly, who's your giant factor?
My giant factor is Jermaine Eluemunor. It's going to be a big game for him. Obviously, we know the Andrew Thomas news by now. He's down and out for the season. I think Jermaine was getting some reps at left tackle, also right tackle, so who knows where he ends up landing. But there's no secret that a lot more is going to be asked of him, not only in this game, but just for the rest of the season now. He's been one of the more productive members of the offensive line, and they're dealing with a massive loss. And if they're going to be able to hold up and enable this Giants offense to score more than 14 points per game, which is what they average with no Andrew Thomas, he's going to be a big part of that. So I think this first week will be very telling of what we can expect from him, and I hope he has a great game. Be a giant factor, man.
Be a giant factor. All right, now it's time for spread picks. Before we get into spread picks, who are they brought to us by, Jolly Olive?
They are brought to us by Captain Morgan, just like this whole episode is brought to you by them, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The NFL season is where legends are born on and off the field. Some are last-second plays that turn the tide and change a team's destiny, while others are friends who follow the captain within them to make a regular get-together into the stuff of legends. So grab your crew, grab a captain and a cola, and make it a story to remember, because legends start when you follow the captain. Visit followthecaptain.com for more. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, NY. You'll be glad you did.
Jolly, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Where's the Talk of Giants tailgate? Where do they usually take place?
Lot L16.
L16 on the curb. Where can you find the link to our tickets?
In the description of this video.
In the description of this video and in the description of this podcast. Seriously, get to this tailgate. If you're going to come to this game and get to this tailgate, the tailgate's always more fun than the game, no matter what anyway. So
not
That's
this
been my
week,
experience.
but it's going to be fun and have some Captain Morgan, a.k.a. Boo Juice, because it's going to give us the juice to boo Saquon Barkley. All right, spread picks. Listeners still in first. 5-3 week. They're 29-19. Jolly's in second. I feel like Jolly's went 500 like 3 weeks in a row.
I think it's 3 weeks in a row now that I've gone 4-4.
So
That's where I live.
He's at 20. He's at 24-4. 24-24. Justin went 5-3. He's 22-26. And I finally had a good week. 6-2. Won the week. 20-28. It's a slow climb. I remember I started slow last year and then I finished hot. So I got my swagger back. First Thursday Night Football. Going to be a beautiful game. A beautiful game. We got.
I actually am excited.
Broncos. Oh, me too. I love a slop fest on Thursday Night Football. That's what it's about. Broncos at Saints plus 2.5. The listeners, represented by Joe Furman, are taking Broncos minus 2.5. And so am I. You have Spencer Rattler without Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. The Broncos are going to cover zero blitz their ass to death. To death. I got Broncos, and Bo Nix. Bo Nix improves to 4-4 with like 62 passing yards.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love this Broncos defense. Broncos defense supremacy. Cover zero supremacy. Cover zero's back. Cover zero's sexy. And so are the Broncos this year.
Broncos,
I was playing my brother in
well.
Madden during the hurricane and just showing cover zero looks, and he really hated it. He's like, that's cheating. He's like, nobody does that.
That's what you're. Honestly, it's what you could do in real football and it works, and then if you do it in video games, people get.
It's a little bullshit in Madden because the way to beat it is just to like put two tight ends and run the ball all game. But like, who the hell wants to play Madden that way?
They're not going to. Teams are not going to do that. So
yeah. So anyways, that's Madden talk.
Jolly, also going Broncos.
Broncos.
It's a clean sweep.
All right, Saints are going to win.
If we had like anyways, Patriots at Jags minus 5.5 in London. Chris Rose will be calling this game. Check out Football Today. He won't be on it this week. Justin, we usually have a thing. You don't pick against the Jags in London. But they are reeling. I think they don't want to be there because, it's just a shit show there. And you know what? I think this Patriots defense is going to have a good game. And Drake May is going to win this game. He's going to get win number 1 at 9:30 in the morning. I'm excited for it. I got Patriots plus 5.5. Let's go, Drake May. Jolly, who do you got?
I'm not going against the Jags in London. I was actually going to mention that before you did. I'll take them to win.
Yeah, it's an awful thing to do. Like it's just a rule. Like even you'll lose some, but it's like more times than not you're going to win. But I'm still I hate this Jags team right now. The listeners are going Jags. Justin, what are you doing?
I'm going Jags. I hate it. Drake May was moving fine at practice. I was looking because he got an MRI on his knee, but he's moving fine. I don't even think he has a brace, but I'm still going Jags. I hate that though.
All right. Game of the week. Kinda? Like, is this more of the game of the week than Chiefs 49ers?
Yes.
Lions at Vikings minus 1.5. Justin, who do you got in this one?
Vikings. Brian Flores. Defense. Put Brian Johnson in the ringer.
I actually have, for a different reason, I think the Lions defense without Aiden Hutchinson, the Vikings offense is going to tear it up. So I'm going Vikings as well, but because of the offense. The listeners are going Lions. Jolly, who are you going?
I'm with the listeners. I'm going Lions. I think they're about to take off, even without Aiden Hutchinson.
How about that? Texans at Packers minus 3. Is this game of the week? No, but it's a good one. Jolly, what do you got in this one?
Give me the Texans. I've been running with them a lot in my picks. I don't know. I just feel good about them.
Listeners got Packers. I got Texans too. I think they're just a better team than the Packers. So I would pick them straight up. Straight up. Justin, who do you got?
I'm going with the Packers.
All right. All right. This is wasn't a lot of good games, so I just picked the smallest spread game of the week. Dolphins at Colts minus 3. I'm going Colts minus 3. Listeners are going Colts minus 3. I'm hoping they win this game because I honestly, this is like an easy pickings game. I need to get my shit right type of game. Jolly, who do you got?
I think I'm going Colts as well here. Dolphins offense, I feel like just can't really get going right now. And I think the Colts are due for a little bounce back victory. That's a good team.
Yeah, Colts
Dolphins
minus
coming
3.
off a bye week. Bye week doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Colts minus 3. They're going to be Colts are 4-3 and then somehow in a playoff spot right now.
This is our team. Seahawks at Falcons minus 3. Listeners are going Falcons. This was my toughest pick. I'm just gonna go Falcons. I like the Seahawks are on a little bit of a down, turn. Falcons rising up. I got Falcons. Justin, who you got?
Yeah, I want to go Falcons too. Just I think there's some disconnect happening there between players and especially offensively there. So give me the Falcons.
Jollish.
I'll be the contrarian this time. I'll take the Seahawks. Maybe they're reeling a little bit from consecutive losses, but I think they bounce back this week.
Yeah, you make good arguments because I almost picked the Seahawks for the same reason. It's like, well, yeah, one team's won 2 games in a row, the other one's lost 2, so they're due. They're both due for a loss.
I believe in due.
Chiefs at 49ers minus 1.5. A rematch of the Super Bowl. Listeners are going Chiefs plus 1.5. Jolly, who do you got?
I'm with the listeners. I'm going Chiefs plus 1.5.
Justin?
They're going to have to lose eventually, right?
Yeah.
49ers.
I got the 49ers too. I know the 49ers have had some of their issues. The Chiefs, this isn't a stat, but I feel like the Chiefs, the teams they end up beating in the playoffs, they lose to in the regular season, like the Bills. So I'm going to go 49ers as well. And like the 49ers, it's a revenge game where the Chiefs, like, we beat you in the Super Bowl twice. Suckers. Jets at Steelers plus 2.5. Russell Wilson's first start of the year. Justin, who do you got?
I have the Jets, even though I kind of hate it. But I just don't. I don't think Russ is going to work out. So give me the Jets.
Yeah, I have not gone off the Jets bandwagon quite yet. This is the game. Like, if you lose this, then I'm totally out. Screw you for the rest of the year. Devontae Adams there. Listeners are going Jets. Jolly, who do you got?
Clean sweep. I think the Steelers might have shot themselves in the foot with the QB change at 4-2. Plus, Devontae Adams maybe has an effect on this game. I don't know. But Jets have to win this game.
I think Aaron Rodgers has played like some really good ball. Like, I've watched every throw the last 2 weeks, and there's been some like, this is insane throw, and then Lazard or Garrett Wilson, whoever drops it. All right. Score predictions. The Saquon Barkley, Nick Gates, Paris Campbell, John Ross revenge game. Jolly, what do you got?
I got a final score of 34-17 in the Eagles' favor.
Justin, what's your score prediction?
We have to ignore what the brain says, and this is a heart prediction. Giants win 20-16.
Boo! 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 If you're on the Eagles sideline, Zoom just asked me if I was playing music. Yes, I am, because the boos are going to be music to my ears. Boo the life out of him. Like, the life. If you're on the Eagles sideline, harass him. Harass them all. Harass Nick Gates. Harass Paris Campbell. Harass
Big Dom.
Yeah, Big Dom. Big Pussy is what I call him. Get on him all game long. Get on Sirianni. Get on every single one of them. Boo the life. This game means more. I don't care if you want to be like you're a little too cool to school, like, oh, I don't care anymore. It's over. I'm focused on this team because we're not good. I don't care. Get off your high horse and root for the Giants. Don't boo the Giants. I don't care if they're stinking it up. Don't boo them. You know me. I love, if your team's playing bad, boo them. They deserve it. But don't do it this week. Get behind your team. Boo the shit out of Saquon Barkley and win big, 77-0. We'll see you Monday for, I hope, the sweetest Victory Monday podcast of the year. We'll see you then. Until then, let's go Big Blue.